Tallahassee. I'm what you know as a military brat. My father's from a little town called Mount Pleasant over in Gaston County. So many of the things you spoke of, I'm very aware of. Most of my family still lives there. And so we lived all over the world. Those were great experiences. Actually helped me to become an adult. I remember being a teenager over in Italy with a high top fade and watching Italian grandmothers touch my hair on the bus. Right? We were like ambassadors to other parts of the world. And so in those different experiences, whether they were traditional public schools here or Department of Defense schools, I had great educators who challenged me. They didn't care where you came from. Especially being in the military, like my father had told me when he went his 2 tours in Vietnam, they didn't care. They shot at you because you had the American flag on your uniform. And so something about that brings you together. And so those values were instilled in me and my sister as we grew up. And I had the opportunity to come here to Florida State. And I'm one of those folks, I decided to stay. I went to high school in Virginia. That's where my dad was stationed. And I've made a career here. Everything from being a coach, a teacher, athletic director, a dean, an assistant principal, and I've been a principal at all 3 levels. That's me, and I was an elementary principal at Springwood, turned that school from a C to an A. I was a principal at Swift Creek Middle School, and of course the last 13 years I've been at Childs High School. What I will tell you is just like every teacher that taught me is that you can't be afraid of a challenge. You know, first thing people will say to you is that, oh my gosh, there's so many issues to take on. Every person that's up here is not afraid to take on a challenge. Like I said, I have a supportive wife. I've got plans in place, everything from, we've already talked about it, everybody will mention it. Yes, teachers need to make more, but they need to make significantly more to keep them in the classroom, to keep them here, to make it an attractive place to want to come and want to do it. One of the things that we have had different in our education field that is different from past years is a lot of our teachers don't come out of the College of Education. So many of the foundational skills that they used to get at FSU, FAMU, and at Flagler are now having to be done inside of the school building. Right? Those lessons that they miss, we have to provide those. So one of the things we have to do is we have to change the way we train up our teachers. We got to bring back, we used to have those moms and pals programs where we had the retired teachers help our teachers along, because even when I was a teacher, I had to ask some stupid questions. You really do, and I was an American history teacher, and I had some teachers, Kenna Nudine and Anna Jordan, and if you don't know them, I will tell you they are fantastic teachers. Like the things that they instill in you, you carry with you. And so having those things, and I was a Teacher of the Year, and to this day, that's my #1 award that I've ever won, because my peers spoke about the way that I taught. And I appreciated that, because I just didn't want to be some job that had a job as an educator. I wanted to be somebody who was changing lives. Then I got the chance to become an administrator. And the impact that you have on the community, you cannot be afraid of what is in front of you. Am I going too long? I'll go all day. I apologize. Well, I will say this. I look forward to catching up with each one of you. Please ask me the hard questions, and please invite me to more opportunities for us to talk about our kids. Thank you.
I want to thank everyone that's here today. You could be a million places, but you're not. You're here. You're here because you care about the future of our country, the future of our state, and the future of our community. 37 years ago, this is the reason I entered this profession right here. And I'm pretty sure it's the reason you all entered this profession as well. Like Representative Franklin and thousands of others just like him that I've had an impact on over the last 37 years of my career. You could not have written a better story. It's been a dream come true. 30,000 students, 4,500 employees, an annual budget over $650 million. One of the greatest responsibilities we place on someone in our community is superintendent of schools, is who's going to oversee that organization and those 30,000 children. And it's a responsibility that I take very seriously. Every community, every strong community, needs a strong public school system, whether you're in public school, private school, or homeschool. And in Leon County, we are blessed and fortunate to have a strong public school system. Our schools are safer than ever before. We provide an excellent academic, rigorous academic experience, nurturing experience, and enriching experience for our children, and we're financially stable. I am very proud of the record that I've established over the last 8 years. And I ask you one simple favor. Before you cast your vote, 2 minutes will not do this justice. I ask that you look at these 15 accomplishments. We have reduced debt at the district office. We've increased teacher salaries, like Mrs. LWERA just mentioned before. We have a long way to go. But a lot of that, we're relying on people in the Capitol to give us those resources. I can only cut so much on Pensacola Street. When I first became superintendent, I weighed 180 pounds. I'm now 160. There is not much left I can cut. So I am begging the representatives and the soon-to-be senator here to fund education and fund education appropriately like other states in the country do. It's unacceptable. We rank 50th, 49th or 50th in teacher pay. We can and we must do better. I am committed to doing this work. It's been an honor as a product of our public schools. I've been here my whole life, wouldn't live anywhere else. I'm married to a veteran teacher. I understand what it's like to be a teacher every time I go home. Trust me. And every time the air unit goes down or there's an issue on the playground, I hear about it. The day I forget what it's like to be a teacher is the day I need to go do something different. But I'm committed to doing the work for 4 more years. I'm proud of our record. I'm proud of how we handled COVID and all the accomplishments post-COVID. I will not let you down. I will not let this community down. And most importantly, I will not let our children down. Thank you.
All of us, our taxpayers, and our taxpaying money goes towards the voucher system, which gives parents the opportunity to put their kids anywhere, private schools included, and they will receive a voucher for their child to go to the school of their choice, but the standards are not the same. My question for all of you, maybe not Ms. Bailey, but the rest of you, sure. What are your feelings about the voucher system? And should all schools be held accountable to the same
I
standards?
think you know my feelings. It's part of the reason that I'm on probation today. I'm probably one of the only superintendents that stood up and clapped back in defense of our public schools and in defense of our public school teachers. For the first time in history, we are sending public school dollars to fund private institutions with no accountability and no transparency. There is an entire chapter of Florida statutes that govern public schools, and rightly so. But those private schools that now millions of dollars, up to $4 billion, will be siphoned to private schools that don't have to take kids with special needs, don't have to take kids with discipline issues. They can cherry pick who they want. We still live by the mantra, no child left behind. It's completely unfair and uncalled for that we allow it to happen. But until there's a change in the state government, nothing else is going to change. And so I implore our next to be new state senator, our Congress representative, or representatives in the House, to please bring about the changes needed to stop sending public tax dollars to fund private schools with zero accountability.
So when it comes to the voucher system, I think we've been using the wrong argument. And I want you to think carefully. What we say, sometimes we get misconstrued. People think who have their kids in private school is, we're coming after your school. We're coming after your teachers. But no, we want fair accountability of tax dollars. Here's what I cannot stand. You have a parent who takes their kid to private school and the state says, I trust you. But then when your kid is in public school, they say, I don't trust you. First of all, that makes no sense. It's the same set of parents. Why did it change from one school to another? What we want is fair accountability for the tax dollars. I'll give you an example. Like when you're building a hospital, whether it's a private hospital or a private or a public hospital, it's the same specs. Same thing when it goes to vouchers. First of all, I don't think we should have it. But if we go further and you're going to have it, then do this. Just do this for me. All I want is the kids who are receiving the tax dollars to test in our system. And let's compare what they're doing to what we're doing in our schools. Okay? Now look, I'm not saying I want it. I'm saying since you're going to have it, let's compare it. Because then when people, they start getting nervous, say, wait a minute, you're coming after my teacher, you're coming after my principal. No, I'm not. I just want to know, our tax dollars, are they actually, what is the metric that is being used to say that they still should be going there? Okay? Because look, we can do all this bluster, and I'm telling you, we have all tried. I've done my meetings inside of their rooms. That's not it. You got to learn to speak differently. When somebody else is wielding the gavel, You better learn to speak differently. I am here to get changes, the same changes that he just talked about. I'm talking about articulated in a different way. Because if you don't speak to somebody in a way that they can listen, you might as well stop talking. I'm here for the kids. And part of that is we do need to get those dollars back in there. It used to be in the systems, for those who remember, you used to have a virtual school pot. It used to be a public school pot, right? There used to be a charter school pot. The pots were all different. When they put everybody together, they turned us into crabs, and they gave the worst of the rules to the public schools. Okay? So, sorry about that. Thank you.